Okay, so picture this. It's 2013. A police officer knocks on the door of a 36th floor Manhattan apartment. Inside is one of the most beloved child stars of the entire 2000s, the girl who made millions of kids laugh every single day after school. And what does she do when that officer shows up? She throws a bong out the window from the 36th floor of a New York City skyscraper. And that, my friends, is just Tuesday in the Amanda Bynes story. Because nothing, and I mean nothing, in this woman's life happened halfway. Not the fame, not the meltdown, not the comeback attempts, not any of it. So buckle up, because we are about to go through one of the wildest rides in Hollywood history, and I am not leaving out a single messy detail. First, you need to understand just how big Amanda Bynes actually was, because a lot of people forget, and the forgetting makes the fall seem smaller than it was. She got discovered at age 10 at a comedy camp in Los Angeles. A Nickelodeon producer saw her perform and immediately knew she was something special. Within months, she was on All That, one of the biggest kids shows on television, alongside future stars like Kenan Thompson and Nick Cannon. And she didn't blend in with that cast. She stood out. She was the one you remembered. So Nickelodeon did what Nickelodeon does when they find a star. They gave her her own show. The Amanda Show launched in 1999, and it was electric. Characters like Penelope Taint, the obsessive fan who screamed, "Amanda, please!" and Ask Ashley, where a sweet girl giving advice would suddenly explode into absolute unhinged rage, were genuinely iconic. Kids loved her. She won 4 Kids' Choice Awards for that show. 4! She was 15. Then she transitioned to movies and somehow got even bigger. She's the Man in 2006, still quoted to this day. Hairspray in 2007 alongside John Travolta and Zac Efron. Easy A in 2010 with Emma Stone. She was funny, she was charming, she had real movie star energy. And then in June 2010, she tweeted, just casually, out of nowhere, "I am retiring." She was 24 years old, at the peak of everything. Gone. The era we do not talk about enough. Now here is where it gets interesting. And by interesting, I mean deeply chaotic. After the retirement tweet, things were quiet for about 2 years. And then 2012 arrived and opened a door that would not close for a very long time. April 2012, Amanda is arrested for DUI after allegedly sideswiping a police car. Not a great start, but that was just the warm-up act. Because 2013 was the year Amanda Bynes went completely off script and took the whole internet with her. First, the Twitter era began. And I don't mean normal celebrity Twitter. I mean Amanda was on Twitter posting things that had everyone genuinely concerned and also deeply confused. She accused Drake of being ugly, Drake, then said she wanted him to murder her vagina. She called various celebrities ugly unprompted. She live tweeted her own unraveling in real time. It was chaotic, it was alarming, and the tabloids treated it like a circus instead of what it actually was, a young woman in serious crisis. Then came the bong. May 2013, New York City. Building management calls the police because Amanda is allegedly smoking weed in the lobby of her apartment building. Officers go upstairs to her 36th floor apartment. And Amanda, in what is genuinely one of the most unhinged moves in celebrity history, allegedly throws the bong directly out the window. The case was eventually dismissed because, plot twist, no bong was ever found, which means either it vaporized on the way down or someone on the streets of Manhattan had the best day of their life. But wait, it gets worse. Or better, depending on your perspective. July 2013, Amanda shows up at a stranger's house in Thousand Oaks, a house she has zero connection to, and sets a fire in their driveway. Just a random driveway in a random neighborhood in California. At this point, the authorities placed her on a 72-hour psychiatric hold and her parents filed for conservatorship. The internet went insane, the tabloids went insane, and somewhere in the middle of all that noise was an actual human being who was not okay, something that, at the time, very few people stopped to acknowledge.
In 2018, Amanda gave a massive interview to Paper Magazine and laid it all out. She said the culprit behind her breakdown was Adderall abuse, that it had made her paranoid and not herself. She said she was sober, she said she was happy, she said she wanted to act again. And the internet collectively cheered, because people who grew up watching The Amanda Show genuinely loved her. There is a generation of adults who have real affection for this woman, and they wanted her back. Then 2020 hit. She got engaged to a man named Paul Michael, posted cute photos, seemed happy, then they broke up, then they got back together, then they broke up again. It was very much the energy of two people who maybe should not have been engaged, and eventually it just ended. In 2022, she petitioned to end her conservatorship. Her parents supported it, her doctor supported it, and in March 2022, a judge officially terminated it after 9 years, saying the original basis for it no longer exists. She was free, 35 years old, finally in control of her own life. Everyone was excited. And then March 2023 happened. Amanda was supposed to appear at 90s Con in Connecticut, the first time fans would see her in public since the conservatorship ended. A reunion with her All That co-stars, a feel-good moment. She canceled last minute. And then, just days later, she was found roaming the streets of Los Angeles in distress and was placed on another 72-hour psychiatric hold. Later that same summer, in June 2023, she called police herself saying she was having thoughts of self-harm. She checked into an inpatient facility. She stayed nearly 2 weeks. She left with an outpatient plan. It was heartbreaking because everyone had been rooting for her. Where she is now and why it's actually kind of iconic. Okay, so here is the part of the Amanda Bynes story that the blogs don't really cover because it's not sensational enough for a headline. But honestly, it might be the most interesting chapter of all. After everything, the conservatorship, the breakdowns, the lawsuits, the psychiatric holds, all of it, Amanda Bynes decided she wanted to become a manicurist. Not an actress, not a reality TV host, not a podcast queen, a manicurist. She enrolled in cosmetology school. She posted on Instagram in April 2024 that she was back at school to study manicurist theory and practice acrylics because she hadn't passed her board exam yet. She was just out here, studying nails, trying to get a job at a salon, living her life. She also launched a podcast in 2023 and quit after one single episode because she decided she would rather focus on getting her manicurist license and having a consistent job. One episode. One. That might be the most Amanda Bynes thing she has ever done, and I respect it enormously. In December 2024, she hosted a quiet art pop-up show in West Hollywood, collaborating with a fashion designer. Low-key, no press, just art. And in 2025, she joined OnlyFans. Not for explicit content, she was very clear about that, but as a way to talk directly to fans without anyone in between. No network, no executives, no filters, just her. What you're looking at is a woman who was handed more fame at age 10 than most people will ever see in a lifetime, who cracked under the weight of it in very public ways, and who is now living a life that is entirely, stubbornly, defiantly on her own terms. No comeback tour, no press junket, no desperate attempt to recapture the spotlight. Just a woman studying for her nail board exam and hosting the occasional art show. And honestly, that's kind of the most powerful ending she could have written for herself. So that's Amanda Bynes, Nickelodeon legend, bong thrower, Twitter chaos agent, conservatorship survivor, and now, aspiring manicurist. If her story makes you feel something, drop it in the comments. And if you think the media treated her the way they should have during the worst years of her life, well, you can drop that in the comments too. I'll wait. Subscribe if you want more stories like this, because Hollywood has a lot of them, and we are just getting started.